still sports tonight. But let's quickly talk about a few issues around football and maybe the administrative side of things. I don't know whether you were on the show Tunde when the chairman of the league management company came and accused us that we dwell on the politics sometimes. But it's not our fault. We were focused entirely on the football side until about 3-4 years ago when everybody started going to courts, and we realized that we were focused too much on the football and not looking at the rules.
Unfortunately, in this part of the world, the political side of our football
controls everything.
Everything.
Because football nowadays is played in the courts. Rules are
in the chambers or the upper and lower chambers
appeals
of
no
the
appeals.
Legislature. I mean, it's tiring at times, and you cannot afford to take your eyes off that particular sector.
Let me read what you have on your screen, scrolling on your screen right now. It's a press release from the Nigerian Football Federation, and it has to do with the NFF Electoral Committee that will handle elections that will be taking place later this year. Very crucial. NFF elections are a lot more complicated sometimes than even the general elections in Nigeria. Because there's a lot of interest. And I mean, you just cannot explain what could go on. Mr. Amoni Biambo, an accomplished professional businessman based in Port Harcourt, was on Monday elected chairman of the NFF Electoral Committee, saddled with the responsibility of conducting elections into the NFF Executive Committee and into the Nigeria Professional Football League, the Nigeria National League, Nigeria Women League, Nigeria Nationwide League come August 2014. Elected as vice chairman is Dr. Akpo Mudiaga Oje from Delta State, as the Electoral Committee swung into action ahead of the August polls. Other members are Professor Musa Garba Yakasai, Mr. Charles Mokocha, Patrick Pascal, Mr. Mola Wakayode, Prince Elube. NFF General Secretary Barrister Musa Amadu is the secretary of the committee. We put our hands together for the NFF. Why? We raised the point when the Congress, a few months ago, when the Congress brought out the names of the Electoral Committee members, we pointed out some errors, some flaws. A government official was amongst those named.
A key part of the...
A key part, and we said the rule says no government official of any kind. And then it was Dr. Mohamed Sanusi, head of competitions in the NFF, that was named as the secretary, and we said no.
Clear contravention of
the FIFA standard electoral code. Now they've adjusted it. Amaju's name, I can't find Amaju's name on that list anymore, who is the government official that was listed before, and they've replaced Sanusi with the right person that should be the secretary of the association.
Which is the secretary of the association?
With the secretary of the association, which is Musa Amadu. So kudos to NFF for doing the right thing, correcting their own mistakes, and we hope that this will be the foundation for peaceful elections in 2014.
Easier said than done.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so.
Anyway, we're not going to dwell too much on it, but let me just, we have, I mean, this is preliminary. We've identified a few things that we need to point out quickly enough.
The
reason because they seem to be listening.
Yeah.
When we spoke in the past about the flaws about the composition of the electoral committee.
Let me read the posers. The first poser. What will happen to the league management company's 1-year extension if elections are to be held into the Nigeria Professional Football League in August? From that press statement. Because the Nigerian Professional Football League is one of those bodies listed where elections will be taking place. And the Nigerian Professional Football League is the top flight, where the LMC is holding sway. Are we going to be having the LMC on one side? Are we going to be having the board of the MPFL on another side, who takes control? And we need to look at the statutes to understand what roles will each of these companies play. That's the first poser.
Like they say in Nigeria, that's a jump question with a neko answer.
That's the first poser. Can the same electoral committee organize elections into the NFF Executive Committee and then organize elections into the affiliate bodies of the NFF, like the MPFL, which is what we just talked about, the Nigerian National League that we just talked about, the Nigerian Women's Professional League, and the Nigeria Nationwide League, which is the NNWL. What does the FIFA Standard Electoral Code say about this?
Do you have one electoral committee for all the affiliates and the body itself? Or do you set up
questions to be answered?
This is a very critical part of what we're doing, because the mandate given to this electoral committee is organize elections for everybody. And they are different bodies. They are separate entities.
Exactly.
They are registered separately.
Exactly.
They have their different managements. They have their different congresses. Key key posers
So
that could determine
whether we go to court,
whether we are going to be going to court,
No, whether
Or whether we-
whether we return to
or
court.
whether we return to
Or
court,
not.
Actually, he never
exactly,
left.
or whether we
critical issues.
It's
And
these are
critical issues.
You rightly pointed out.
They are
These are
different,
issues.
registered with CAC separately. They have different
They are
board of
different
directors,
entities.
different entities.
You cannot join any of them into a suit unless they are party because they are separate entities.
They are separate entities. They have different congresses. So how do you do it? They have different guidelines for the different elections. What about the different secretariats, the different managements, the different congresses? How do you navigate this
But
landmine?
it's very simple.
Let's not answer the question. That's just the poser for now. We will revisit
I
them
think
later
it's-
on
I
when we
think
have
it's
more
simple.
time.
I think
We'll
it's
have, we'll have more time later on to look at all of these issues. It may look simple, but it looks more complicated than it looks to you. But these are the posers for the NFF. We hope they can go through all of these. Let's move to the football now, Yemi. Not a good weekend for Nigerian clubs on the continent. One went away, considered the last-minute penalty, and lost. The other one played at home, couldn't score. Our mind 2-1 over Bayelsa United, but the good news is Bayelsa have an away goal that they can count on. Warri Wolves fired blanks, which also is good, better than a 1-0 scoreline. They can go and fight for a score draw in
If
Tunisia.
I was a gambling person, I would have lost my money. How my debutants, I mean, I felt that Bayelsa United.
Bayelsa are complaining to high heavens that they were robbed, that the
Well-
penalty that they got in the 94th minute wasn't the penalty, but we see this in African football.
I mean, you know, the teams that How Mine are defeated before they got to this level are teams from, you know, places in
Seychelles.
Africa that are not strong. So I thought Bayelsa United, having participated in this competition before, I mean, we would be able to,
Semi-finalists have
yeah,
in the past.
we would be able to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Warri Wolves with, I dare say, with the best collection of players in the
We
local
wasted
league.
so many chances.
But Kano players will disagree. But
Well, I said arguably with best
But
collection of players.
quickly, Yemi, what are the chances? I mean, this weekend, return leg game will be played. Warri Wolves are traveling. That's why the LMC
You see,
have put all their games on hold.
It's better than it looks, really. Bayelsa United could easily upturn this
Upturn
result. And a goalless draw is like walking on thin ice. It could break anywhere.
They have to go and
But
fight
you also
for
have to look
score
at
draw.
it this way. It's
But
also
the
a clean,
danger for
it's a clean slate.
Yeah, but look, a goalless draw could go either way. But for Warri Wolves, they do have to score if they're going to
Away.
progress.
Yeah.
Either a goalless, I mean, a score draw or you win.
Both teams need to score.
Bizets also have to score if they want to
To-
qualify.
they
So
have to win.
That's what I said.
that's why
it
I
could
think
break.
It's
I
start
think
afresh.
it's a clean slate.
Start afresh.
It now depends on what Wolves' mentality.
So it's home advantage.
If they go there with a belief
That
that
they
they
are
can
out,
get a result,
can
they
do
will
this.
get a result. But if they are, and I'm happy because they don't have the